So, the new season of Fargo is out, Noah Hawley's anthology series derived from the classic Coen brothers film. I was intrigued for this and went in pretty much blind, not knowing much about the new season aside that it was set closer to our time, in 2019 in fact. I had reservations about this, not really sure why. I don't know, I just kinda always imagined Fargo taking place in the 90s and before. Maybe it adds to the allure, mystery, and that quaint Fargo feel. It feels weird there being a season in the 21st century. Even still, I was hopeful. After a fantastic first season, an even better second one, a weird but interesting third, and an unfortunate misfire of a fourth. And I say unfortunate because the fourth season really had a lot going for it, but it was hampered by one or two odd casting choices and forced changes due to the pandemic. I have reviewed all of the previous seasons and have analysis videos on Fargo on the channel if you're interested. In short, my opinion of Fargo Season 5 is that it was okay. I am not in love with it, nor did I hate it. I wasn't overwhelmed, I wasn't underwhelmed. I was quite simply whelmed. And fairly taken aback after finishing it and looking at a lot of reviews showering Season 5 with praise, calling it some of the best written television ever to grace our screens, according to one review. In terms of acting, the Fargo Season 5 cast is on point. Jon Hamm, who most know for Mad Men, a series I've yet to see, is excellent as the tough centerpiece villain Sheriff Roy Tillman, a MAGA-style Bible-bashing lawman, corrupt, secretly funding right-wing militias, and on a mission to retrieve his wife who has escaped from him. Juno Temple is the abused wife Dot, having remarried and has a kid now. Jennifer Jason Leigh is the wealthy, unapproving mother-in-law, and Sam Spruell is creepy as Munch, a guy who might just be a 500-year-old sin-eater. Everyone involved pretty much gives good performances. The only real weak link, I thought, was Lamont Morris as Deputy Whit Farr. He just seemed really distant, like he didn't want to be there and had one expression on his face the entire season, even, spoiler alert, when he gets shanked and dies. The season deals with Dot's new life, her husband and daughter, shattering around her as she is found by Roy's goons, who fail in their attempts to capture her, but she knows they're coming back. You don't quite instantly know the entire mechanics of the relationship between Roy, Dot, Roy's son Gator, and others, but you get the gist of it. And to be honest, I think later episodes over-explain things and remove the mystery. Some things are better left unsaid. But by and large, that's what the season is about. Plus, Roy's own world starts to collapse around him later on, what with complications in the re-elections and his shenanigans being investigated by the FBI. It's a solid season of television, but it won't go down as my favourite season of Fargo. In fact, dare I say it, purely on an entertainment level, I actually preferred Season 4. I laughed a lot more with that one. I was more scared. I was more intrigued. Where Fargo usually has all the chess pieces slowly come together to create a gripping ending, Season 5 starts off with all the pieces in place at the ready. For sure, I found some of the first few episodes gripping, climaxing with the Home Alone style home invasion from the baddies. But then there's a middle period, like someone swiped all the chess pieces off the board and threw them on the floor. Characters all end up in different places, some disappear for several episodes or are reduced to small parts, before things start to come together again for a satisfying climax, though I did feel the final scene went on for way longer than necessary. So a strong beginning, a dull middle, and an okay final third. That's how I saw this season. To be honest, I feel like I'm a bit out of the loop with Season 5, like I'm not quite the target audience. As a non-American, not fully versed with inter-American politics, I feel like a guy who's walked into a party and there's already a heated conversation going on between a few of the guests and I'm struggling to keep up. For sure, this season is invested in contemporary inter-American politics. Something about the strong, independent woman who frees herself from the shackles of male tyranny, as represented by Dot. There's also the female cop, hard-working and principled, but also the female mother-in-law, stern and unapologetic, who maybe has gone too far in her ruthless outlook, and inadvertently finds her humanity again somewhere in the story. There's something about weak, docile men who don't play their part, like the man-child partner of the female cop character who spends all day at home practicing golf instead of working to pay off the bills. Or maybe even Dot's new clueless husband, who literally becomes an invalid for a portion of the show. Then there's the sheriff character, a man who is tough and strong, but is ultimately revealed to be an abusive molester. Politics-wise, he seems like everything you'd expect a cliche Donald Trump fan to be like. In fact, he actually watches him on the telly at one point, doesn't he? Then there's the army he has, which resonates with things like we've seen in recent years, like the attack on the Capitol. The writing isn't exactly subtle. I think to a scene where the sheriff is having his hair cut by his newest wife, watches Trump on TV and then hits his wife when he gets annoyed, or a line where one character says, "We have our own reality," and then another responds with, "That's not a thing." Ouch! Why not just turn to the camera and say, "In this season, we're addressing post-truth politics"? And didn't they already do this in season 3? Sometimes it feels like they wrote the subtext of scenes and then shot that instead of layering it with everyday natural dialogue. And the characters feel like character types instead of actual individual characters. Honestly, I think you could actually solve many of the season's problems by setting it back a couple of decades. Then all of a sudden, characters become metaphors for modern day Trump supporters rather than actually being them. Setting it in the past would provide some appreciated distance. I saw an interview with Martin Scorsese once talking about his Jesus movie, where he said he thinks audiences like it more when you make a movie about something rather than actually make it about the thing itself. For example, Casino as a twisted metaphor for Paradise Lost, rather than making a straight up Adam and Eve biopic. Anyway, there's a lot said in the show about debt. Lee Jason's character is a professional debt collector. The sheriff feels he's owed by Dot. There's Much, who is forced to pay off a 500-year-old debt. Indira, the cop, is drowning in debt. Things like that. So I get there's things going on there. And maybe you're more knowledgeable about this and the politics of Season 5 than me. Leave your take in the comment section below. It's like Trump using YMCA as a campaign song, something I didn't know when I was watching the show. And this song being used in a scene where Roy's boys arrive to the ranch. So I'm guessing there's a lot of intentional references in the show that I didn't get. When it was about this woman's mysterious past and her attempts to evade her former captors, it was interesting. There's that weirdo who's a 500-year-old Englishman, among a lot of interesting stuff in this season. But when it narrows down and zones in on the whole husband trying to kidnap his wife thing, Dot on the run, it became a little dry. Maybe it's because the potentially interesting collection of characters are for the most part put on stop while we tackle Dot's backstory, which I thought was more effective when implied rather than when it was actually shown. There's an episode where Dot goes into some kind of sanctuary for abused women, and you see women do all sorts of things independently, even up on trees with chainsaws. And aside from the fact that it ends up being some kind of coma dream, so it does feel a bit pointless, I noticed some episodes had the end credits with a part where it takes you to a hotline if you've been affected and if you're a victim of abuse. I found that really weird. Like, when did the show stop being a drama and become a public service announcement about domestic abuse? There was no trigger warning in the end credits when Lester beat his wife with a hammer in season 1, among other disturbing moments in the show. It was really weird. I've only ever seen that in trashy soaps here in the UK, where after a heavy episode they say, "Oh, you can call this number if you want to speak to someone about something disturbing you've seen in this week's episode." I've got nothing against the show wanting to make a point. In fact, I encourage it. But among the already mentioned problems, Season 5 really does have a problem with characters, especially the sheriff and the mother-in-law, monologuing their philosophies. It comes off as clumsy and blunt, and the season is dreadfully slow in places, with deliberate lack of editing and a frankly boring lack of action, meaning you spend an awfully long amount of time watching people walk in and out of houses, climb in and out of cars, that kind of stuff. There's creative decisions where I just couldn't work out a reason for existing, except to fill out the runtime. Like, why is there a close-up continuous shot of the sheriff walking, just walking, for like 2 minutes straight? Why did the show change aspect ratios in a single episode mid-shot for about 5 minutes? What's going on here? So all in all, it was a decent season, but it didn't quite draw me in as I wanted it to, and I still feel the show's first 2 seasons stand tall above the imitators that follow. What do you think about Fargo Season 5? Let me know in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.